Hello, everybody. We're live. Trying to say for all in here. The problem is, there we go. There we go. We're live. Let's sit down here. Okay. This is the book we're going to be reading here. It's called The Greatest Generation. The Greatest Generation Speaks. Let's get that into there. Can you see that? Try and get the best picture here. Right. Now, okay. Now, let's call it With Letters and Reflections by Tom BroKaw. We're going to start. We're going to actually go on a break first. And we'll be right back. All right. Sorry, we're back. We got the first story. Frames of Motion picture war coverage taken by Raymond Dawn somewhere on the River, Germany, 1942, 43. Let's get, there's one picture. There's another. And there's the third. All right, this story is recently. I read it again. Eric Maria Require's classic war novel, All Quiet on the Western Front. It was a German soldier's reflection on the terror, cruelty, and absurdity of combat during World War One. Yet the themes perfectly matched what American veterans what American veterans wrote in their personal accounts of life at the front during World War II. Those memoirs, many of them self-published, or simply bond manuscripts, add to the rich body of literature from World War II. The best of that literature, that works of James Jones, Norman Mailer, Kurt Vonnegut, William Manchester, Joseph Heller, and Paul Fossil, for example, is well known. The homespun looks will likely never be read outside the author's immediate families. Still, the memoirs are of infantrymen, their own memorable and deeply personal fashion. Let's get to the story here. Fuck's the story. I want to get to a point here. All right. I'm just one of many who engaged at war in World War II. I was stationed in the Philippines. This is one of the stories from one guy. When it was started, when it started, World War II, and in an anti-aircraft battery, we were on the Baton Peninsula, where we were engaged in a jungle fighting to the bitter end of the battle. Our battery escaped on the last night and made it back to the island of Corridor. Corridor was captured. Nearly all of us who had survived at that point were undernourished and wounded in one way or another, and most were wounded more than once. We were tortured in various ways and maintained on starvation rations. Many were murdered, many died of diseases and starvation. During the last year of during the last year of 3.5 years as a POW, I worked in a condemned lateral of Fukutora coal mine near the city of Otama, Japan. While there, I was an eyewitness to the explosion of the atomic bomb that was dropped on the city of Nagasaki, where just west of, just west and across the bay from us. In a telephone interview, Graham took us back to the 1940s and his life in the coal mine. It was very hot work, very deep. The air was quite bad there. The dust was terrible because it was soft, bottomless coal, bottomless coal, and filled the air, and there was no currents, and we had to breathe it. You had to keep your wits about you. You had to stay alive because one false move and one false move, your life was nothing in that country. They'd kill you in an instant if you disobeyed. The Japanese they're talking about. In the mines, we had to shift that contained three types of work. They would be There would be three or four men shoveling, three or four picking the coal off the coal face, and the others would be picking up layers of slate and building pyramids of rock that held up the ceiling. They took just one day at a time. I know that I kept saying, I've got to keep my mind clear. I looked for something good, like for one thing, I had a battery light that didn't leak on me and got me at and get acid on my skin. Little things you keep yourself tantalized with, like maybe soon you'll get a chance to get a break or something. I had a little belt on my waist, and all we wore was a linen cloth. Sometimes I got coughing so bad that I would take off my whole wardrobe and wrap it around my face so I could breathe. You could see only eyeballs and teeth when you looked at somebody because they were covered in black coal. We carried a cigar box with rice in it, and that would be our ration for a 12-hour shift. Sometimes the coal was so heavy we couldn't find our boxes. We'll be right back. Oop.